Welcome to East Village. My name is Debbie, and today we're going to learn about countable and uncountable nouns. So let's start with the countable nouns, okay? Countable nouns are words that we can count, okay? So they refer to words that we can count. So we can say 1, 2, 3 of certain object or thing, okay? So for example, 1 book, 2 books, 3 books, 4 books, so on and so forth, okay? So countable nouns are things that we can count, okay? These are usually very easy for us to notice, for us to realize, for us to see. Because usually when you can count something, you can see it, you know? You look at it and you know that you can count it, okay? So usually it's easier to understand the countable nouns. But uncountable nouns, on the other hand, are a little bit trickier. Uncountable nouns, like the name says, it's the opposite of countable nouns. You cannot count whatever it is you're talking about, okay? It's uncountable. And because it is uncountable, we do not have a plural form. It's kind of obvious, but we need to, pinpoint that information. So when you have something that you cannot count, you do not use the plural form. They do not have the plural form. Let's think about a few examples, all right? So, sugar. Sugar is something that you cannot count. You're not going to count all of the little tiny little grains of sugar. You cannot. You can't count. You count a spoon of sugar, but you do not count sugar. The same goes for salt, sand, and many other things that you cannot actually count. Maybe physically, theoretically, you could count, but in practice, you do not count. For example, spaghetti. Technically, you can count the spaghetti, but you're not going to, you're in a restaurant and you're going to say, oh, please, give me 2 spaghettis. Or, give me 100 spaghettis. No. You do not count spaghetti, okay? So, to make it easier to understand whether a noun is countable or not, we have some categories of words that are uncountable. Words that refer to abstract ideas. So, for example, advice, information, help, math, history. History is different from story, okay? Story is countable. History, non-countable, okay? History is like when we learn about Hitler, the World War, the pyramids, Egypt, this is history. Story is when you're telling, once upon a time there was a little girl and she used to wear a Red Riding Hood. This is a story. So a story is countable, but history is not countable. Words that refer to liquids, okay? Liquids are never countable, right? Water, wine, oil, coffee, tea, never countable. Words that refer to materials are also not countable. For example, wood, cement, steel, iron, and so on. Also, foods that can be served in a variety of formats are usually not countable. For example, bread. If I ask you for bread, I would like some bread. Can I have some bread? If I ask you for bread, what kind of bread will you give me? Will you give me a loaf of bread? Will you give me a tiny little piece of bread? Will you give me a slice of bread? Will you give me a croissant? Will you give me a French bread? Will you give me potato bread? Oh my God, there are so many different kinds of bread that because of this, it is considered uncountable, okay? For you to count bread, you need to specify the bread and then use some kind of measurement. For example, the slice, the loaf, grams, and so on, okay? Another example is cheese. Can I have some cheese? Okay, what kind of cheese would you like? There are so many different kinds of cheese. We have mozzarella, we have, okay, I don't know all the names of the cheese. But we have so many different types of cheese and they are served in so many different ways that we cannot count, okay? Now, there are some common mistakes when it comes to countable and uncountable nouns. Common mistakes for us Brazilians when we're learning the second language. So, one of these mistakes is to confuse with words that in Portuguese are countable, but in English they are not. Okay? So here goes a few examples of things that we can count in Portuguese, but we cannot count in English. One very famous and common example is homework. Everything really related to work is not countable. Homework, housework, not countable. I can say I have a lot of homework, but I will never say I have 2 homeworks, 3 homeworks. You cannot say that. Music. In Portuguese, we use the word music to refer to songs. What is the difference between music and song? Music is the general idea of melody and sounds and musical instruments all combined into one beautiful sound, right? So music is this general idea. Now, song is a specific composition, all right? For example, Thriller from Michael Jackson. Thriller, thriller night, right? This is a song, not a music. So, because of that, we do not count music. Music is this general, uncountable noun, right? Songs, on the other hand, are countable, okay? I have 2 favorite songs, for example. Another word that we can easily confuse is luggage. Luggage is uncountable in English. You can refer to pieces of luggage, right? Or you can count your bags, right? Your suitcases. But luggage is the general, thing. Like you're carrying stuff, right? So all of these is considered uncountable. Whereas in Portuguese, we do count. We say uma bagagem, 2 bagagens, 3 bagagens. But in English, we don't. Furniture. Furniture is another good example. In Portuguese, we can say móvel, 2 móveis, 3 móveis. We use, right? The plural form of furniture. In English, we don't. Furniture is every little thing in your house, different formats, different types. So furniture is not countable. The second type of mistake or common confusion between countable and uncountable nouns are the nouns that we cannot actually count them per se, but we can measure them somehow. So we do not count the noun, but we count the measurement, okay? For example, money. You can't say, even in Portuguese, we cannot say, tenho muitos dinheiros. No, right? We don't say, eu tenho dinheiro, 2 dinheiros, 3 dinheiros. We don't. So the same way in English, we do not say monies. Monies doesn't exist. So you can count dollars, euros, reais, but you cannot count money. Okay? Water and every kind of liquid, right? We do not count water, but we can count drops, we can count glasses, We can count liters, milliliters, right? And a lot of times when we go to the supermarket, for example, and we're going to order meat or cheese, like I said previously, we order per grams, right? So we can measure the weight, we can measure the grams of that food, right? So I can say, I'm going to buy 500 grams of sugar. I'm going to buy 500 grams of meat, okay? So we can count the grams, the weight, but we do not count the noun per se, okay? Now, the same noun can sometimes have both usages. You can use it for countable and uncountable nouns as an uncountable and countable noun, but they change meaning, okay? So for example, paper. When you say a paper, you mean jornal, okay? And when you say I need some paper, you just mean papel, okay? So I'm going to leave you with a chart of words that change meaning if they are used in the countable noun, as a countable noun, or as an uncountable noun. Right, Nina? Yes, I know. Ela é faladeira. Ai, Nina. Alright guys, so I know this is a lot of information to take in. Watch this video as many times as you need. Don't forget to leave a comment if you have any questions. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And please subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any of our classes. So, see you on the next video. Bye!